No. We don't touch him.
I watched the Jeff FM reaction to David and Jason Nash podcast Views, and I couldn't help feel sad for Jeff. Sob. He must be feeling unhappy, angry, and feeling betrayed. I would understand losing friends and cash coming in, but having your friends talk like that after an incident that almost killed you? Sigh. It's tough to deal with, especially when that incident has a heavy impact on your life and career. Hello, viewers. Welcome to today's video. Today, we'll go through all the Jeff and David beef details, from the scumbag insults to the blame game, and recently Jeff threatening to sue his ex-friend David. We'll get you all the back and forth and pointing of fingers to try and understand how these two friends, Jeff and David, got to this point. Where it all began. Jeff Wittek and David Dobrik were part of the vlog squad that made video stunts that you should never try at home. In this particular episode, Jeff and David's stunt of the day involved swinging on an excavator. David was driving the excavator around for about 9 hours. When it was Jeff's turn, he hung onto the rope, swinging about as the excavator moved in the Lake Utah. First of all, I'm fabled. How did you get yourself in such a situation? Why would you trust your friend with someone close to an amateur in excavator driving? Jeez, the things people do for content. As fate would have it, David was too fast. He abruptly halted the excavator, and Jeff was flung to the side of the excavator, hurt his eye and skull badly before landing in the water. It wasn't very good. The How I Broke My Face video shows a bloodied side of the face open. Quite disturbing. Wittek consented to the stunt, thinking it wouldn't be that dangerous. After all, he jumped 20 times from a plane in previous stunts. Unfortunately, as Jeff remarks, he forgot the dumbest person he knew, David, was driving the excavator. An unlicensed driver who knew the risks, I should add. He also had not anticipated that the rope would move so fast. He said this, he said that. Jeff downplayed the April 21st incident when explaining to fans why he hadn't posted a new video on his channel. Sorry I haven't posted any new pics of the mullet this week. I got in an accident and broke my face and skull in a few places, but I'm okay. He went on to say, more alive than ever. I'll heal up as good as new, and I'll get some new pics of that mullet as soon as I can get me a blow dryer up to my hospital room. He probably didn't want news of the significant incident subject to public scrutiny in his defense. Or maybe he was protecting his friend, as he angrily scoffed recently. Those words, however, had me thinking, man, you got seriously hurt. You could have lost your life. The surgeries after and you almost going blind? That's mad shit right there. David, on his part, took time to text or even call Jeff after the incident. A week. Maybe the incident shook him. Nearly killing your friend is not light. Still, fans and other YouTube influencers have called him out for his lack of empathy and remarks in his latest podcast with Jason Nash. The podcast conversation that should have stayed private. Controversial David sits in with Nash on Views to weigh in on the specifics of the miscalculated stunt. Asks him about the incident that he didn't want to talk about. David reiterated that it was never his intention to harm his friend. I was never up there driving that thing wanting to hurt him. He regrets that Jeff got hurt when he was the one driving. He would do anything to take that back, which is his most regrettable moment. The public apology was 2 years late, after numerous corrective surgeries, and after Jeff finally did a video, in Jeff's opinion. It turns out the swinging wasn't part of the plan. From David's perspective, Jeff was angry with him because he told the whole world the stunt was Jeff's idea. I think one of the main reasons Jeff is bummed with me right now is because he saw me do an interview where I said something that I promised I'd keep between us, David said. He's pissed that I broke a promise. He's like, can you promise me one thing? Can you promise no one knows that this was my idea? On the other hand, Jeff says he only consented to a moderate swing on the rope and not the fast whip swing that got him hurt. It looks like David wanted to spice things up, although he says Jeff was the one who thought doing a moderate swing and some goofy stunts was a preschool kind of thing. From the way I see it, Jeff said he was not an employee in the reaction video. David suggesting things for the team to do minus him implies that he put content first and his teammates second. Jeff gives an example where they went skydiving and David was left at home playing video games. What do you guys think? Is David the selfish team leader? The gist of the story. David's statement and the reaction to the incident doesn't sit well with Jeff. His apology, for one, doesn't sound genuine. There are memes on it. SNL also did a video of David's apologies. Second, he made a documentary without the consent of Jeff or a follow-up to tell him when it would be released. He also put a camera to his face with no prior preparation. Jeff, still healing, was scheduled for surgery. His repeated statement that it was Jeff's idea to smash his face and end up almost dead is also disturbing. As a friend, he should have paid the bills, followed up, and known when the surgeries would happen consistently. His remarks, with Natalie backing him, about not knowing details on the medication bills or the surgery dates are lame. Who does that? Jeff was his friend. He did crazy things to push his videos and gain more followers and money. Jeff saying that Natalie and the other team members were pawns sounds justified. One fan even noted, Natalie sounds like the please pick me kind of girl. Did she send all the emails to the insurance companies without even bothering to read them? Weren't the emails meant to keep them in touch with the nitty-gritty of the bills and surgeries? There's also the video of 50 Cent doing a similar stunt that Jeff sent him. It popped into his feed when they were out in the lake. Jeff says it was meant to be a joke, but David thought Jeff had sent it over to him for him to look at and imitate. He claims he only saw the video later. One fan noted that the first message between the friends turned foes was 2 hours later. He says anyone else noticed that the message from Jeff to David Dobrik said 2 hours, meaning David, 2 hours after the incident when he almost killed Jeff, was only thinking of covering his ass and taking those screenshots so he could prove it was not his fault later. So while sitting in the hospital or on the way to, you called your lawyer or thought to yourself, how do I cover my ass for this? He sent me a message with someone spinning on one of those, I can cover my ass with this. This is the only reason he would have to take a screenshot of that 2 hours after almost killing his friend, while his friend's life was still in danger. That is who you are, David Dobrik, he ends. David Dobrik. David planned a comeback video after a long silence without informing his team. Most of all, Jeff, who is still recovering. The man is not new to bad behavior allegations. One fan even noted, it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to David. It's the worst he's ever done. He's been accused of enabling a toxic work environment, sexual assault, and never giving victims a chance to share their side of the story. He covers up as the happy guy who wants to stay happy and make people laugh with funny videos. Also, in the documentary, he didn't seem remorseful, which irked Jeff. He also kept saying it was Jeff's idea, and he had asked him to keep it between them. Another fan notes, you can tell David doesn't want to take the blame. He says he does, but doesn't. You can tell by how he phrases his sentences, as if something happened out of his control. It was just a terrible thing that happened to him. Instead of saying, I did this bad thing, I feel like an asshole, I'm responsible for what happened to Jeff, and I can't stomach the guilt, it's the worst thing I've ever done. There's a real difference in the language, and it's clear he doesn't feel responsible and doesn't want to accept that this is fully his fault. Supporting David. Another fan noted, bruh, if you saw your friend almost die, wouldn't that be the worst day of your life too? I swear people need to stop making statements at such a biased standpoint. Yet another one advises Jeff to take therapy, since he appears to be going through denial and was now in the anger phase. David might be feeling guilty and not so good about the whole incident and still not sure how to address it. That's it, guys. Jeff might be seeking legal redress judging from his concluding statement of the reaction video. What's your take? Please let us know in the comments section. See you in the next one.